Hi everyone, I'm Shannon Carver with Lean Leaders Plus, and I'm here to talk to you about courage today. You might notice the new hairdo that I have, and I will tell you it took a lot of courage for me to cut it all off. You see, for the last 2 years, I've been thinking about cutting off my hair, but fear around what other people would think has prevented me from doing it. I've avoided it, I've neglected it because of that fear. Well, as I mustered up the courage to cut off all of my hair, it got me thinking about all of the leadership conversations that we avoid or neglect because of fear. Now, what kind of fear prevents us from having these conversations? I think there are 3 most common types of responses to feedback that are creating fear. The first one is deflection, right? Well, no, it's not me. Well, what about them? Or what about that situation? Or dismissiveness. It's not that big a deal. You're making a bigger deal out of this than it really is. Or defensiveness. What are you talking about? Right? That defensiveness could come in severe anger, or it could come in emotional kind of breaking down, and it's this defense mechanism. And these 3 common responses creates fear in us and allows us to think, oh, maybe I should just avoid that or neglect that. I'll deal with that later. And then we use busyness as an excuse when in fact it's fear that's driving us not having those conversations. So of course we have to first earn the right to give feedback and to coach and develop. But after we do that, right, through building TCR, trust, credibility, and respect, we still have to muster up the courage to have these conversations. So what I want you to do is think about it from this perspective. When we go into those conversations, often the fear that's driving us feels like this big mountain of fear. But often when we get through on the other side and we have those conversations and we find out, man, they're actually grateful that you invested in them and gave them the feedback. That it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. Even if you didn't get all the words right, if you come at it with a sense of support, I'm doing this for your benefit, typically when you look backwards, you're going to think, wow, that was much easier than I thought it was going to be. And if we can get into the habit of giving regular feedback for the benefit of others, right? Not as a manipulation, not as a way to tear them down or get what I want, but truly to help them be the best version of themselves. When we do that, we'll find that these conversations aren't that big and scary, and we can start to do it more and more and more and more. And as we do it more and more and more and more, we're going to start to see that we're having a larger impact, a more positive impact on those that we're leading. So I encourage you, have the courage to have these conversations. Think now about some conversations that you might need to have that maybe you have been avoiding or neglecting. Once you've identified it, I'm going to challenge you. Go have that conversation and then leave a comment in the section below how it goes. Thanks, everyone.